Hey guys, it's your girl Londyn, and today I'm bringing you my 10 uses project pan update. So, if you guys want to see if I got to 10 uses on any of my products, where I'm at with my uses on any of my products, then keep watching because we are getting right into it. Okay, guys, so 10 uses. This has been more difficult than originally anticipated, and not in the sense that it's difficult to get to 10 uses, but in the sense that once again, I'm recognizing that although I have significantly decreased the amount of products I'm bringing into my collection each month, it's still too much because I am getting derailed with other products, and it kind of makes 10 uses, something that is not a difficult task, become a little more challenging, because if you're continuing to bring in new products, especially if they're in the same category, then you're kind of conflicted with which products to use. So you guys have not yet seen the updated products that I brought into my collection from last month. And again, it may seem like a lot when you guys see it, but it's actually significantly less than like last year each month what I was bringing in. But it's still more products than I think that I'm seeing that I desire to bring into my collection each month, especially with BoxyCharm. I love BoxyCharm, but at the same time, you don't realize how many products, especially if you have more than one subscription. So I have the base box, the luxe, and the premium. You don't realize when each box is anywhere between 3 and 5 products, 5 and 6 products. So you're bringing in like 12 products in any given month, how much that is with your collection. So I'm learning a lot through these project pans. I'm learning a lot this year that I think is really going to help me and kind of take me through to having a more curated collection, a better collection, a collection that better suits me, and a collection that I'm overall happier with. So let's go ahead and get into some of these products and see where my usage is. So I think the product, or at least one of them that I have done the absolute best on, and that I keep looking over here because I keep thinking, like, have you ever felt like, 'cause I have gloss on, like you have something in your gloss, almost like it feels like a little hair or fur or something? Sorry, so that's why I keep doing that, but I'm going to try to stop now that I notice I've done it. That I actually did get the 10 uses on, which kind of surprised me, but at the same time, which I started using it, I really enjoyed it, was the Ciate Londyn, and this was the Confetti highlighter. So this is what she is looking like now. You really, to me, can't see much of a difference, especially with the Maybelline in this highlighter. I think you would have to really kind of get down to pan to be able to see a difference. I do have it on today, and I just think that it is an absolutely beautiful highlighter. It is a highlighter that, when you mix it all together, it's just this beautiful kind of golden bronze look. I think that if you went a bit lighter, you could even probably use this as maybe even a bronzer. I've just really, really loved this as a highlighter. So fortunately, unfortunately, I have gotten to 10 uses on this, so I am going to be rotating this out. At this point in time, I have not chosen something to rotate in for it, because I do have another highlighter that is in my 21 products in 2021 project pan, and that is the MAC Hot and Heavy. So I do already have another highlighter, so I'm not rotating anything in its place, but it has been good to me. I have loved it, and it is definitely something that I can say on my list. I definitely want to keep my collection because I had never used it prior to this. And it is beautiful, and I really do enjoy it. The next thing that I got quite a bit of usage out of, and I have about 6 uses on this, is my Note Desert Blush. So this is the Desert Rose Blush from the brand Note. And again, I think you would have to use up a lot to kind of see any real difference in this. This would have been a blush that I use consistently, constantly, all the time if I didn't have 2 blushes in my Partners in Cream project. So I have 2 cream blushes in that project. So a total of 3 blushes to utilize. So I was trying to use those at the same time as this, but this does have 6 uses on it, which I think is fantastic. I do have it on today, and I just love, love, love this blush. It feels so freaking smooth. And it's just this beautiful kind of like I don't know if you'd call it like a terracotta, but it's just absolutely beautiful. And I just really like the way that it looks on the cheeks. It's not too pinky, it's not too orange. It's just very nice. And like I said, it feels very smooth. And I would definitely recommend Note if you have not tried it. I think I got this in a BoxyCharm, I mean, probably like 2 years ago, to be quite honest with you. But I really enjoy this. So those are the two products that I got the most usage out of. The next product, I only got one use out of it, but I really do love it. And it is just because I have a lot of palettes in my collection and a lot that came in again like in BoxyCharm. Like today you would think I had this on my lids. I don't. I actually have a Huda Beauty palette that came in my BoxyCharm on my eyes today. But the next one is the Maybelline Soda Pop palette. Now again, this is a beautiful, beautiful palette, not just for a drugstore palette, but just in general. This is an absolutely gorgeous palette. And like I said, you may even think that I have it on my eyes today, but I don't. I have a Huda Beauty palette, the Purple Pastel palette on my eyes today, which is kind of letting me know that if the look I have on my eyes today can be from a palette that looks very different from this, but it looks like it could have been this palette, then do you need to have palettes that are so similar in your collection? So let me kind of come right here because I have it right here. Let me show you. So the palette I have today is from Huda Beauty and it is the Pastel Lilacs. This is what I actually have on my eyes. So when you take a look at this, this looks very different than the Soda Pop palette. They similar themes because they're purple, but they're distinctive. They look distinctively different. Yeah, on my eyes, it looks like it could be either or palette. Like you're not really sure which palette it could be. So for me, at some point, I'm going to have to say, okay, which palette do I want to keep in my collection? I would never be able to use up both. So which one do I want to keep? Or do I want to keep these two to have kind of a drugstore and a higher end palette? But the fact of the matter is if you're getting the same looks from two kind of distinctively different looking palettes, do you really need to have both of them in your collection? Because these are not the only two purple palettes I have in my collection. I have other ones. And so you kind of see how similar things start to look and how to really start paring down your collection and start to look more like quality of the shadow, staying power, kind of overall performance. Because if I were to look at these in my collection, I say, nope, I should keep both of them because they're very different. But on the eyes, that's really where, to me, it matters. And if they're looking the same on the eyes, then you have to kind of get down to those nooks and crannies to really tell which one you should keep. Because it's like, do you really need both or do you really need all five? Likely not. So that only got one use. The next palette per se got 4 uses, and this is from Beaute, and this is the Bronzed in Paradise palette. Now I did get this in my January BoxyCharm, and I have been utilizing, like I had said previously, this color right here as a bronzer. I did not use it today. Today I didn't put any bronzer on, but I have used this 4 times. I really, really do enjoy this. I have noticed though, because this is a warm toned bronzer palette, I mean, it's a bronzer palette, but you know, it is very warm, that if I have like the Pat McGrath foundation, or a foundation that is more so a summery shade for me, that will pull very, very warm on me. So it is better on something like the foundation I have on today, which we'll talk about. It does work better with like today's foundation because it's more so true to my color. And so when you put it on, with my contour, it doesn't add too much of a warmed look, because this very quickly, you only need a dabble to you will go way too far, way too quickly, and you can really warm yourself up beyond maybe what you want. And that is something that I found with that this is going to be a palette that would take a long time to use up because there's a lot of product in it and you really only need a little bit. But this is a multi-use palette, so I think this is a palette you can also use for eyeshadows, things like that. So if you decided that you want to get more use out of all the shadows or the powders in there, you could use them for eyeshadows to kind of have it be a multi-use. The next one, unfortunately, is my Aether Beauty palette. Again, I love this. It's gorgeous. Oh, so pretty. Again, it's kind of giving me similar vibes to the look I have today, except for it doesn't have any kind of like metallics or shimmers. I did not use this at all. This was a 0 use palette, so I'm so sad about that, that I just wasn't able to get to this because I was using other palettes in my collection, which is unfortunate because I really love this palette. I think it's very pretty, but again, we will just keep it in here until we get to our 10 uses. But once again, it really is just making me think, how many of these palettes do I need to have that look so like distinctively different in the pans, but on the eyes can kind of create similar looks. So if you can get a similar vibe, do you need to have all of them? I don't know. The next one I used 2 times, and this is the Becca and Jaclyn Hill Champagne Pop collection. This I have found that I do like the way that this performs. Um, this stays very nicely on me throughout the day, and this for me is a great palette when I need to just toss something on for work. I work from home, I work remotely, so I do telehealth. And when I'm just looking for something that's like really no fuss, no muss, I just want to toss something on and have it kind of look like a little zhuzh, but I didn't have to be like very precise with like colors and things like today. This is kind of a great go-to palette. This fortunately seems to be one of the palettes that was not hit by kind of the bad shadow bug. And like I said, I did like the way that it performed, and I'm excited to continue to keep using it. So the next palette, this got 4 uses, and I'm very excited because I love this palette. And this is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk palette. So this is what this looks like. It is so pretty. Just the distinctively different looks that you can get. You can get a warm look, you can get a light pink look, you can get kind of a peachy look, you can get a more kind of deeper pink look. This was perfect for Valentine's Day and like during that week. It's just a very nice overall palette. This is also a good work one if you want to work with just 1 or 2 shadows, put some liner on and go with it. This works really well. And all it did was reconfirm to me how much I'm enjoying Charlotte Tilbury's eyeshadow powder formula, which is a good and a bad thing because I really don't want to get into too many high-end brands because 1, I don't want to be bringing in a ton of products in my collection, and 2, I don't want to spend that kind of money on these high-end brands, but this is really helping me to get to know my collection better and get to know the products I have in my collection better, especially because some of these are, you know, kind of quite old, 2+ years old, to really see the holdup of the powders, because I think that very few people actually toss their palettes at the 6-month date, the 12-month date, the 24-month date. I think most of us tend to keep our powder products a bit longer and still use them as long as they smell okay, maybe you sanitize them and things like that. So kind of seeing how they hold up past their best used by date, because I don't really call it an expiration date for powder products. It's like it's going to be like milk. I just think it's like a best by date, and then after that you just want to keep up with it and make sure that it's not getting any weird smells or any type of like mold or spores or anything in there that would indicate that you need to go ahead and get it gone. The next product, again, got no usage out of it, which is a real indicator to me that, you know what, maybe this is why it shouldn't be in my collection. But this is the N07, and this is actually the Caramel Bronzer. Now, as I had said in my first video, I wasn't going to be using this as a bronzer because it just wasn't deep enough for me to utilize as that. It is too much of a skin tone color. So what I was going to be using it as was an overall kind of finishing powder. The problem with this that I had and why I wasn't reaching for it is because, 1, I got the Laura Mercier shimmering translucent powder in my BoxyCharm box this month for February. So that's what I have on my face today. So it's giving me some luminosity, and I have been trying that powder out to kind of set everything. Also, I have been utilizing my Pat McGrath powders. So I have the medium and light under eye powder, and I also have the all over face powder. So those are the things I've been utilizing to kind of set my under eye and set my face. So therefore, this really hasn't gotten any use. Now, I do want to give it a go before I decide to take it out of my collection. So I really am going to try to hone in on it this month and at least, you know, really try to give it 2 tries before I make any kind of full decision on what I may or may not do with it, because it's a very nice powder. It was very soft. I think it could be a very nice setting powder. But again, when you have things coming into your collection and you have other powders in similar categories and other project pans, makes it very difficult to kind of utilize all of them, and you start to see what you're favoring versus what you're not favoring. So again, giving me a lot of good insight about my own products. Another product that did not get any usage, and I was shocked by this and kind of saddened by it, but again, I just had other products that came in my collection. This was the Marrakesh palette by Nomad Cosmetics. Now, this is so pretty. It has such a pretty color story. And this is why I was kind of like so sad that it got literally no use this month, or during the 30 days, since I did my initial video. It's just so pretty. I'm hoping that because springtime is starting to come, and again, I'm not a person who does their makeup based off of season, but at the same time, these colors just scream spring to me. So I'm hoping because we're going into March that maybe that will give me the push with St. Patrick's Day and things like that to kind of get more into these colors and kind of bring them out a bit more, because again, Nomad was one of the brands I really wanted to try this year in 2021. I was very excited for the Marrakesh palette. So I do want to try to give it more love in this upcoming month. The last product I have here, let me just tell you guys. This product, now before I put it into this collection, it had gotten quite a bit of use out of it. Now I really had to try to balance this with the Pat McGrath foundation that I have in my Partners in Cream project pan, and also I got the YSL 24 hours stick, 24 all hours, whatever it's called, stick foundation, which is almost gone, so I've been utilizing that. So I'm really, again, telling like what I'm being drawn to, what I really like. But I was able to use this 5 times, and I would have used it way more than 10 times if I had not tried to pull myself back and balance a little bit more with the Pat McGrath, which was hard because Pat really didn't get used a ton this month. But that the YSL I was really using, so I really had to pull myself back a little bit. Like I said, prior to putting it into this project, it had gotten a lot of use out of it, but I tried to remain cognizant this month to utilize the Pat McGrath, and I really was just on one with my YSL stick foundation because it's just so quick and was so easy. But this is the Gucci foundation. So this came into my collection last month, so I'm trying to get around to that video to making it so you guys can see what I brought into my collection in January. And once you guys see that video, you will see this in there. But this is just a gorgeous, gorgeous foundation. I just love this pump. I love the foundation I have on today. I think it is so flattering. I think the color is so nice. I have the color 340N medium. It is just so nice. It is, I think, one of the most perfect matching foundations that, at least for right now, that I have in my collection. I just really, really love it. And it's beautiful. It's expensive. I think it's like $68. So between this, the YSL stick, and the Pat McGrath, your girl's working with like, what, $300 worth of foundation almost. So we really need to hone in and hone back. But I grab for this so often. Like I said, I would have been well over 10 uses if I didn't kind of have to pull myself back sometimes. And then there were some days where I just didn't wear a foundation, even if I wore other makeup products. I didn't wear foundation. But this is a favorite. This is a favorite. When I first got it, I didn't want to be like, oh, I'm so in love with it. And then you don't really know. But no, this is a favorite. So I really do want to do a foundation review on it just to kind of show you guys, because this is a good one. So if you were thinking about it, this is beautiful. This is a nice kind of, I guess, soft matte. But it doesn't make my face look too dry. It's not like the Fenty foundation. It still gives you like a luminous, I don't even know how they describe it. Let me see. A natural finish. Yeah. So it is like a nice, soft, natural finish. It doesn't take a lot on your face. It's just beautiful packaging. It's just so nice. I really love the coloring, and this has quickly become one of my favorite foundations. So guys, that was my updated 10 uses project pan. So like I said, the products that I have not given a lot of love to, I want to try to give more love to this month. The other products I want to try to hit 10 uses on. And then, of course, our Ciate Londyn highlighter. Oh, the Confetti highlighter. That one's going to be going. Like I said, I'm not going to put anything back into this project pan because I do have another highlighter in another project pan. So next month, it will be just all the products without the Ciate Londyn highlighter, because we have used her up this month. We have gotten her to 10, and I really think that probably the Note foundation we will get to 10 this month. But I'm really enjoying just the kind of overall knowledge I'm getting about my products. kind of having to focus on using them and really seeing what I'm being drawn to versus what I thought I'd be drawn to see why I'm being drawn to it and what I actually like in my collection versus what I think I like or thought I liked. So it really has just let me know a lot about me, a lot about my collection, and I am excited for this project to keep going. I'm not quite sure what I'll do as I get to using up these products, how I will interchange them, if I will interchange them with products in the same category or different categories. Not quite sure about that. So I'm not quite sure if I'll wait until I get 10 uses on everything and then kind of bring in all new products, or if I will interchange them out, kind of like the Ciate line, and I'm not bringing in something for that. I don't know if I'll do it every couple products. I don't know if I'll do it every couple of months, and then however many products I've used up by then, I will just swap them out with new products. I'm not really sure how I'll work that out, but maybe this month I'll give that some thought, and then during our next update, I'll be able to tell you guys what I'm going to be doing as far as swapping out the products. So if you enjoyed this video, please give me 2 very enthusiastic thumbs up, not 1 but 2. Let me know how you feel about these products. Let me know how you feel about the usage that I had on them, and what you think that says about things and how you're doing on your 10 uses or your uses project pan so far this year. If it has been difficult, if you've noticed how many products you're bringing into your collection, how that kind of throws off what you can focus on, and if you've noticed what you're focusing on versus what you're not focusing on, and maybe what that told you about yourself and the products in your collection. So I always think that you guys are spending time with me. I know that you guys could be anywhere else, especially here on the YouTubes, because there's so many other YouTubers out here, so much other content. So I always appreciate that you guys spend your time with me. But I will miss you. I will love you. And until next time, guys, I will see you on the flip side. I love you guys. Bye.